Hello, friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio, to our daily prayer. It's the moment to stop and nurture our soul with a prayer. As our body, we need to eat at least 3 times or 1 time a day. It depends, but we need to nurture our soul too. So we're going to do it with prayer. We're going to do our mini prayer. We're going to read a text, and then we are going to have our prayer. So let us attune ourselves. Let us relax our body, feeling the chair or the floor, wherever we are sitting or located right now. Our mind commands our body to relax with kindness and love. And all together, in one thought, we say, Dear Father, Mother God, how grateful we are for this encounter. We want to show you our gratitude by raising up our thoughts and our heart and open up our mind to receive the knowledge, the teachings, the healing that the good mentors are going to provide to us. Dear Father, give us permission for this encounter. Guide us and protect us, and give us peace of mind, and so be it. Very well. Welcome all the friends that are watching right now. So today we choose a chapter from the book Living and Loving by the spirit author Joanna de Angelis and the medium Divaldo P. Franco. And it's chapter number 5. It's entitled Try Loving. It's not nice. Try loving. So let us listen. Joanna usually she describes a situation, a problem, action that needs to be corrected, or an emotion that we need to overcome, etc. And then she gives us the remedy, the medicine, or the action plan. So she's going to start describing first what is the problem, what is the difficulty or the illness. People raised to positions of mass leadership have always resorted to force and arbitrary domination. They parade along the streets, crowned with transient success, carry out bad delusions, and intoxicated with conceit. They built up powerful empires, rule ruthlessly, and were feared rather than loved. The great philosophers who lived before Jesus, inspired by noble ideals, left careful instructions for self-liberation, writing down in steels and ancient parchment, in clay and in papyri. However, excellent their teachings were unable to touch the souls of men. Jesus was a different master. No one has ever expressed the golden rule of happiness with such wisdom. He taught through living example, and his approach was always a loving one, peaceful and pacifying. By pointing out love as the base and epics of life, he changed the very structures of ethics, of culture, and civilization. Jesus set love as the turning point in history, since love is the source, the center, and the destination of all realities. Shall we read that last paragraph again? It's very powerful. Jesus set love as the turning point in history, since love is the source, the center, and destination of all realities. Joanna continued describing. In a persistent drive to conquer, man has opened up spaces only to fill them with the horrors of war and desolation, waging battles and cherishing ambitions. Intoxicated with power, he spread his dominions and piled up gold. As a result, he is today tormented by a huge egosclerosis. In addition, because of well-rooted old habits and pride, man has been rejecting love, which is the only prescription indicated to heal him. Egosclerosis. That's Joanna's description of this illness. If you feel sad and tired of your day-to-day troubles, wrestling with all sorts of sorrows, try loving. So here she starts giving us the remedy, the solution. If your load seems too heavy to bear, when you feel lonely within a crowd, when you are beaten by adversity and it seems as if you were entangled in a hopeless maze of insanity, try loving. If you are in the verge of despair, feeling weak and lost, try loving. Whatever the circumstances, no matter how difficult the situation that confronts you, try loving. Spread love like a fertilizing pollen made of light, and love will fly back to you as peace and spiritual beauty. We would like to read that one again, right? Spread love like a fertilizing pollen made of light, and love will fly back to you as peace and spiritual beauty. Never return evil for evil. Instead, do unto others as you wish others will do unto you. If you do so, you will realize that loving your neighbor is really the golden rule, the perfect solution for all human problems. Do as Jesus did, and you shall never get tired of trying love as the only answer to the challenges of life. Always try loving and continue loving until love becomes an inherent part of yourself. And these are the words of Joanna de Angelis in chapter 5 from the book Living and Loving. And they're very, very beautiful paragraphs here that call our attention. First, love is the source, center, and destination of all realities. Material reality, spiritual realm, whatever number of dimensions we have, that's the answer for all different realities. But also she's describing what is going on with us as a humanity, because through history, if we open up a book of histories, mostly the history of wars, this town against this other, this country against this other, etc., etc. So what is going on? What happened 2020 years ago when Jesus came? We didn't listen, we weren't prepared. What was it? And Joanna says here, well, when Jesus came, and this is from the book On the Way to the Light by Emmanuel and the medium Chico Xavier, they express that when Jesus came 500 years before Jesus incarnated as a human, the planet Earth was prepared to receive the message. So we weren't unprepared. And he spread his message, and after he left and back to the spirit realm, what happened? What happened is that we have free will. And we are deceived by this material world. And our world's enemy, inner enemy, is selfishness and pride. And as an individual and as a society, as a group. And we just need to take a look to the Roman Empire that was for 500, 700 years also on planet Earth. That was the result of pride and selfishness and vanity. And it's not because they weren't listening, really. It's because they opt to do that. Probably us, right? Because we very likely we were incarnated at the time. And then we create this habit, and it's rooted deep inside in our subconscious. So now, as a spirit that has awakened, because we are awake now, that we can see and we say, oh, wow, my goal is to be happy and I need to take the road of progress. And I need to learn and I need to work in these areas in my life, in my inner self. Now that I want to self-improve myself, I start finding so many difficulties. And there are basically two sources for these difficulties when we decide to go to the road of progress, right? The first is ourselves, these old habits rooted inside of ourselves. So how we're going to get rid of these habits? By exercising new habits. Charity. Charity is another word for love. So how we are going to love, Joanna says, try loving, even if you're in desperation, even if you are in the most difficult situation, try loving. And we're thinking, oh, when we are in despair, we're not thinking, oh, I'm going to love the world. No, but we can be charitable with ourselves and with the people around us. And charity is a simple act of being quiet and just listen to someone. Even if we want to express our opinion badly, like, I want to tell you that we are quiet and we listen attentively. And charity is when we are sick, instead of pushing ourselves, our body, and say, hey, body, I'm giving you all these medicines, you need to start working. It's like, okay, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to give myself time to heal. And I recognize myself in this position of being vulnerable. So when we start practicing charity, we start creating a new pattern of habits. And it's like in our daily habits. As an adults, we already develop certain habits. We brush our teeth after meals, just to mention something simple. We're going to expect a 5-year-old child to brush his teeth every time after each meal is very unlikely. The mother, the father, or the adult needs to remind him, hey, Johnny, brush your teeth. And Johnny's like, I don't want to. And when he's 6 and 7 and 8, until he got it eventually. Yeah, some of them they don't, but eventually he got it into the habit. And then we do things without thinking. That is a habit. It's like, this is my routine, this is the way I do it. And because it's in the subconscious level, so we need to create awareness of that, talking about our emotions and old habits that are holding us back. So this is the message for today. Joanna is saying, try a new habit. Try loving. Try charity consciously. And it's not like, oh, you see, I'm very proud, I'm a very charitable person. No, it's not that. But it's just an exercise of starting towards this new road. It is easy? No, it is not. But we have great examples. The same Joanna de Angelis. We know she was Joanna de Cusa in Jesus' times. Later on, she was Clare of Assisi in the medieval times. Later, she was Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz. I don't know how to say it in English, in Mexico, right? great poetess and writer and scholar. And then her last reincarnation, she was Joanna de Angelis in Brazil. And if we look back to her process, when the reincarnation that we know her, first one as Joanna de Cusa in Jesus' times, she was already a worthy woman. But she had a challenge there because she wanted to follow Jesus. Oh, very dearly, she wanted that. And at the time, she had a child and she was married with a man who he wasn't the best role model as a husband, as a father, or as a person. And Jesus asked her, say, don't follow me because your place is there in your home, and be the best possible wife and mother and woman inside of your home. Don't follow me right now. Imagine how she felt going back to a despicable man and trying to love him and being charitable with him. It must be a challenge. But Jesus said, we know, but at the end of her life, on that reincarnation, she was actually tortured in the Colosseum, and she was brought with her son, and his son, they were tied up, right? And his son was asking her, please, please, deny Jesus, deny him, please save your life. And she was, no, I am not going to do it. So Jesus said in that incarnation, of course, we know she has many other ones to get to that level of perfection, meaning we have time, we are immortal spirits, but since we are in a transitional time, it's like an opportunity for us to hurry up a little bit, to bring this conscious of what are the difficulties, what are the things in my inner self that I don't like, and probably I have a short temper, or I'm not patient enough, or I'm not a good listener. I like to talk a lot. I don't like to listen to people, or I'm always in a rush. Each one of us, we have our difficulties, right? And each one of us, our purpose in life is to get to know ourselves and start working in our inner selves. Let us substitute these whole habits. We were talking about there are two possible causes of why we are so rooted in these old habits. The other, it could be spiritual. We know we always have spiritual company, and some of them, they were our ex-friends. So we weren't really nice people in the past, very likely, and we have our friends, and they don't want us to progress, or we hurt someone, and this is normal. This is normal. Please don't think we're talking about here obsessors of sort of the thing. No, sometimes we have these companions, but as Divaldo Franco he expressed in his challenge with a spirit who tormented him for 30 years, because the spirit couldn't believe that Divaldo changed that much from one reincarnation to another. If we stick to our plan of inner reform, if we stick to our goal of happiness by being charitable, by loving ourselves and by loving others, eventually, as Joanna said, this spread like seeds that are going to enlighten others. Others, our friends in the spirit realm. So by make us ourselves better, we are making others feel better too. Okay? Let us pray. Let us pray with the purpose of have the strength and the openness of our heart to love. Okay? That's the invitation. Let us close our eyes. We are going to visualize ourselves as if we were sitting in a circle, holding hands. And in the middle of this circle, there is a jet of light, a white, pure light. And we feel that from our hearts and our minds are also coming out this jet of lights towards the beacon of light in the center. And that way we feel connected to one another and to our dear Creator, our wonderful and loving Father, Mother, God. And it is through this prayer that we raise our thoughts and our hearts, and we ask for your mercy. So we know that even though we have these rooted bad habits in our spirit, we have the desire, the sincere desire to move forward, to change and to translate these habits into new healthy ones, not only for our own benefit and growth, for the benefit of others, either in the spiritual or the material plane. May your love, Father, Mother, God, shower us today. May our very spirit feel your kind and tender embrace, motivating us to continue our march, our journey in this planet of trials and expiation. Oh, dear God, assist us in those moments of difficulty. Assist us when we are suffering, when we are in despair, when we're feeling depressed or anxious, when we don't feel that we want to talk to anybody and just isolate ourselves in our little world. Bring us your light and help us to love. Love our physical body, love our spiritual body, love our spirit, and love the ones that we have very close to us. Dear God, we know this is a challenge. We know if we have someone very close to us, it's either because we need to grow in our relationship or to learn from one another or to pay some old debts, only you know. But help us. Help us to overcome atavic sentiments of adversity. Help us to move forward in the line of progress to a more peaceful world, to a world of solidarity and fraternity. And may your love embrace today our home, our communities, our towns, cities, states, our country, our continent, and all the other continents on this planet. May your merciful workers of the light continue diligent working in assisting all of the incarnate teams that are in the front lines fighting of this pandemic. May all of them be inspired by you, no matter their race, no matter their ethnicity, their social status, nothing, because all of us, we are your beloved children. May your love, this shower of love, this light that is penetrating our very spirit, going deep into our spirit, also penetrate the spirit of all the people with the responsibility of ruling the countries. so they can see their true selves and truly see the destiny of planet Earth. There is only one reality, and it's the reality of love. And eventually, all of us, we are going to open up the eyes of our souls to that reality, awaken the conscious that are sleeping in pride and selfishness and vanity, awaken the souls that are hiding behind addictions, so they can see that there is another world and another pathway for them. Awaken the sleepy souls that they think that only material world is the only reality. Awaken us, lifting us, caressing us, because we were created by love, for love, and towards love. May tonight we have an intelligent sleep in which we can be reunited in one of your loving classrooms, learning how to love, learning how to transform all habits that we don't need anymore into the habit of charity and fraternal assistance and hope. May your love bless us all, and so be it. Dear friends, we hope you feel better after the prayer, and let us try to love. Thank you for watching us.